again, intelligentsia. You are the intelligentsia because you're smart. Smart enough to listen to the Jeffers Brief and to the Contra Radio Network. Hey, I'm going to blow your mind with some numbers here. Some of you have gotten hold of me and they say, why are you pushing Got Backup? I'm going to tell you right now, you are not going to believe these numbers when I tell them to you. And when you start to see the numbers, you're going to go, oh, wait a minute. Ooh. Okay, I get it. So, one of the things I want to make perfectly clear, one of the things I want to make clear is this. It's getting to the point that if you really can't afford $10 a month, should you be doing anything else? I mean, if you can't afford it, I can't help you. If you can't afford $10 a month. Now, some of you will spend that on a freaking cup of coffee at Starbucks. Or, so it's a matter of priorities. And I'm going to change your priorities real quick when I give you these numbers. Now, there's a reason. Well, I heard these numbers, I just couldn't believe it myself. No, we don't want that. That's goofy. Is it here? Oh, it's here. Okay, found it. One thing you need to understand is that data is the new oil. Data is what's going to drive everything in the next century. Period. It's like oil. Get in now, make some money. Now, 45% of cell phones have lost data. 45%. 5,700 screens are cracked every hour. Think about that. And what happens when your screen cracks on your phone? They don't work. Laptops or cell phones. They're stolen about every 43 to 53 seconds. Think about that. Cell phone recovers, yeah, less than 2%. People will spend all kinds of money to buy their case for their cell phone. You'll protect the outside of the phone, but you won't protect the inside. Does that make any sense to anybody? No, of course not. Oh, I get so aggravated sometimes. But here's the rest of the story with this, all right? Now, according to the survey conducted by Backblaze, 62% of people who own a computer have lost data at some point. 62%. That's 6 out of 10. 6 out of 10. 76% have deleted something by accident. 7 out of 10. 51% have had an internal or external hard drive crash. 5 out of 10. 52% have lost access to their data. What the hell does that mean? You forgot your password? What was it? I don't know what that means. But 61% had a security incident, with 25% of those happening within the last year. This is why Got Backup is so important. You got to protect your data. You have to store it somewhere else, because storing it on an external hard drive, what are you going to do if this crashes? What are you going to do if the house catches on fire? I guarantee you, I promise you this. You aren't going to be running to find this when your house is on fire. I promise you, you won't do it. You'll be lucky if you remember it the next day. Maybe there won't be water damage. Maybe it'll be burned. I don't know. I don't know. If you have one of these, yes, you can back this up on Got Backup. You've got to have it. Now, according to the Federal Communications Commission, more than 1 million smartphones are stolen each year in the United States. And in addition, 70 million smartphones are lost each year, with only 7% being recovered. Think about that. According to Statista, the number of smartphone users in the United States is estimated to reach 307 million in 2022. I have updated information for that, my boys and girls. If you want to know, the newest numbers are this. 2023, 311.8 million. That's the number of smartphone users in the United States for this year. Next year, it will increase to 316.2 million. It increases all the way through at least the year 2040. In 2040 is estimated 364.2 million smartphone users in the United States. And you know what they all have on their smartphone? Pictures, songs, data, everything. You, with Got Backup, you can back up your cell phone. Back it up. Think about that, boys and girls. Try that one on for size. Now, 85% of American adults use smartphones. And approximately 47% of web traffic in the United States originates from your zombie box, smartphones, mobile device. Apple is the top smartphone in the United States with more than 116 million iPhone users. Yes. Got Backup can be used with iPhone and Apple. 12% of Americans own non-smart mobile phones, which means those are the ones you get for grandma and grandpa because the tech is so far above them, they can't deal with it. They can barely punch in the number and press the green button to dial it. All right? I'm not being funny. I'm being serious. My parents were that way. I got them smartphones. It was beyond them. Hey, that's why I said, touch our phone. I said, okay, we can do that for you. We'll get you an old phone. That's no problem. And we did. That's why they still sell them. All right? There are 1.21 billion smartphones were sold around the world in 2022. Got Backup is available in 102 countries. Not 102 states, 102 countries around the world. How would you like to have a piece of that pie? Huh? Yeah. An estimated 96% of people aged 18 to 29 own a smartphone in the United States, compared to 61% of people 65 years old and over. Would you like to have a piece of that data storage? Would you? Huh? 85% of both white and Hispanic people and 83% of black people own a smartphone in the United States. Would you like to have a piece of that pie? In the United States, 85% of both men and women own a smartphone, and approximately 98% of women and 97% of men own a cell phone. Would you like to have a piece of that data storage? Individuals with higher annual incomes are more likely to own a smartphone. According to Pew Research, 76% of people who earn less than $30,000 a year own a smartphone, compared to 96% of people who earn $75,000 or more each year. Would you like to have a piece of that data storage pie? I would. Across the nation, approximately 89% of individuals in urban areas, 84% of people in suburban areas, and 80% of people in rural areas own a smartphone. Would you like to have a slice of that data storage pie? Now, the number of Americans that own a smartphone has increased by 50% over the past decade. That is true. That is true. What is this? So, my friends, I have to ask you, would you want a piece of that pie? Be right back.
Oh, ever had a hard drive crash? Or maybe your cell phone or tablet died, taking all of your pictures with it. You've thought about backing up your data, but all of the plans out there cost too much money for just a little bit of storage space. Well, now there's a solution. Got Backup? That's right, Got Backup will allow you to back up unlimited devices, up to 6 terabytes of data for only $9.97 a month. And that's not all. You can earn commissions by referring friends and family too. Got Backup is the only data storage center that allows you to earn income on your referrals. Check out Got Backup now. Log on to john-jeffers.com. That's john-jeffers.com. Log on now.
Yes, do that, please. For your own peace of mind. You know, and people say, well, I'm a prepper. I'm a survivor. I'm a prepper. Really? Have you done anything to save your data on your computers, on your cell phones? We're very close. We'll just keep going. We're going to get to a lot of stuff. I know you guys are thinking about it and you're wondering. So the smartphone ownership is more prevalent in advanced economies compared to the emerging economies around the world, and that just makes sense. So international smartphone ownership is the fastest growing in advanced economies, where on average 76% of people have smartphones, and slowest growing in emerging economies, where on average 45% of people have smartphones. Where Got Backup is in 102 countries. Would you want a piece of that pie? Would you? Would you, huh? I know I am. I'm trying to get you people to understand this is where the new direction is going. Now, smartphone ownership rates are the lowest in India, where just 24% of people own a smartphone, and the highest, South Korea. 95% of people own a smartphone. I would love to get a piece of the South Korean pie. And Got Backup is in South Korea. Would you like to get a piece of that pie? I don't need a big piece on that. Just give me a sliver, I'm good. How about this? How'd you like to get into China? Yeah? Would you like a piece of that pie? I know I would. In fact, I want a big piece of that pie. So, let's talk about the U.S. smartphone statistics by usage, shall we? So, an average cell phone user interacts with their phone more than 2,000 times every day. God, I'm starting to sound like Mr. Haney from Green Acres. Is that true, Mr. Douglas? It is. Cell phone users on average touch their phone 2,617 times every day. The top 10% of cell phone users, known as extreme cell phone users, interact with their mobile devices even more. And they're touching their phones more than 5,400 times each day. And what are they doing? I don't know. I don't care. But I can tell you this, they are accumulating data, pictures, videos, shopping, whatever. I don't care. If you can save it to your phone, you can save it to Got Backup. Would you like to have a slice of that pie? Now, Americans spend about 2 hours and 25 minutes on their phone each day. According to a study that tracked Android users' smartphone usage, the average smartphone owner spends 145 minutes on their device every day, equivalent to approximately 76 phone sessions. Would you like to have a piece of that pie? I would. For comparison, a study by Apple found that iPhone users unlock their phones 6 to 7 times an hour and engage in about 80 phone sessions a day. What are they doing? Accumulating data. Gotta have backup. 85% of Americans own a smartphone. So according to the Pew Research Center, 97% of Americans own a cell phone of some kind. And 85% of Americans own a smartphone. Almost half of U.S. adults report they can't live without their smartphones. Imagine if you got half of them and they lose their smartphone. That means they lose their data and they can't get it back. They're going to be on Xanax for the next 30 days trying to figure out everything they lost, and they got to have it because they can't live without their smartphone. If you can get them on Got Backup to be your customer, they will sleep better at night if they lose their smartphones or it gets stolen. Now, 47% of Americans in the United States said they could not last 24 hours without their smartphones. So according to USA Today study, a survey conducted by the Bank of America also found that 91% of people value their smartphone just as much as they value their car and deodorant. Good. You should. Would you like to have a piece of that data storage? You can. Not only do you become a customer for Got Backup, you too can become a distributor. Sell it. Get your own customers. Make some money. Here you go. Approximately 3 in 20 people in the United States only use the internet on their mobile devices. So 50% of Americans are smartphone-only users, meaning they do not have a traditional home broadband service. The number of adults who own a smartphone but did not use a traditional home broadband service was just 8% in 2013. What are they doing? Accumulating data. They can't afford to lose it. Now, younger Americans are most likely to be smartphone-only internet users. An estimated 28% of people aged 18 to 29 own a smartphone, but do not use a traditional home broadband service. And they could afford $10 a month. In the United States, 47.07% of web traffic originates from mobile devices. While more than half of all web traffic worldwide is mobile, about 47.07% of web traffic is mobile in the United States, according to numbers from the first quarter of 2021. That number increased by 1.12% from the fourth quarter of 2020 and is up by 7.12% from the first quarter of 2018. Would you like? What are they doing? Accumulating data. They got to back it up because eventually, guess what happens? They run out of space. They run out of space on their phones. They run out of space on their hard drives. Got to back it up. Got to back it up. Now, some people say, well, you got Dropbox. You got Dropbox. Yeah, you do. Dropbox is a fine company. But you got to pay like $31 for only was it 2 terabytes? Yeah, I think it's 2 terabytes. The better value is got backup, where you get 6 terabytes for $10 a month. So you could pay $31 for 2 terabytes a month, or you can pay $10 for 6 terabytes a month. You get 6 accounts if you want them. Give one to each of your kids. Give one to your wife. Whatever, I don't care. And if you ever need more space, you can get it. Very reasonably. What are you waiting for? Don't tell me that you don't want a piece of this. Don't tell me you have not thought about this. I'm giving you the numbers so you can see just how big this market is and why data is the new oil. Now, most smartphone owners use mobile internet to shop. 82% of U.S. shoppers use a smartphone to help them shop, especially for food and entertainment. It's true. Most smartphone users who use mobile internet to shop report using the Near Me function to find local shops and businesses. Meanwhile, 36% of international shoppers report using their smartphones to compare prices while shopping at a retail store. What are they doing? Accumulating data. What are they doing? Oh, I like this. Bookmark this. Save this. Oh, I like this picture. Isn't this cute? Hey, Connie, look at this. This is a great dress, isn't it? Connie gets it. Love it. Check out my shoes. And they send pictures. What are they doing? Accumulating data. 25% of incredible U.S. smartphone industry statistics for 2023. How many Americans have smartphones? This is from March 2nd. Chris Colmer fact checked it from Zippia Research. Smartphone and cell phone use is at an all-time high in the United States. Across the nation, more and more people depend on their smartphones to communicate, stay connected, and be informed daily. There are 307 million smartphone users in the United States as of 2022. I gave you those numbers earlier in this broadcast, what it is for this year and what's projected to be in 2040. It's only going to go up. 85% of American adults use smartphones. 47% of web traffic originates from mobile devices in the United States. Apple is the top smartphone in the U.S. with more than 116 million iPhone users. So, what else are we looking at? According to the numbers on the most recent quarter, Apple represents the largest smartphone market share at 53%. Behind Apple is Samsung, has 26% of the smartphone market. Lenovo has 12% of the smartphone market, and LG has 3% of the smartphone. The annual global revenue of smartphone industry sits at approximately $409.1 billion. Do you think it's going anywhere out of business soon? It is not. China holds the largest section of the global smartphone market, generating more than $130 billion in sales each year. The U.S. is the second largest segment of the global smartphone market, generating approximately $55.6 billion in annual revenue. The reason being, China has way more people than the United States. That's why. 1.21 billion smartphones were sold around the world in 2022. Got back up is in 102 countries. Would you like a piece of that pie? 2022 was the slowest year on record so far for smartphones. What else do we have? Last year, more than 40% of people in the world had access to a smartphone. Not they owned it, they had access to one. And the global smartphone industry is expanding at a compound annual growth rate of 16.4%. Would you like a piece of that data pie? Yeah, I do. You should too. All right. By demographics, uh, in the United States, an estimated 96% of people 18 to 29 own a smartphone. Talked about that. Talked about we already done that. Talked about that. Yeah. Here are the predictions and trends that they're looking at for a smartphone, and you can. And the reason we're doing this is because it's all about data, data storage. Big time. The number of Americans that own a smartphone has increased by 50% over the past decade. So 85% of Americans own a smartphone as of February 8th, 2021, according to Pew Research. Meanwhile, in May of 2011, 10 years earlier, research showed that just 35% of Americans owned a smartphone at that time. I had one of the smartphones. I had a smartphone back in 2008, 2007, like that. Yeah. Anyways, the number of Americans who own a cell phone of some kind has also increased over the past decade by approximately 17%. What are they doing? Accumulating data. They want to save their data, and eventually you run out of room on your device. What do? If you have got backup, you don't have to do nothing. It will back it up for you. Once you set it up, it's done. And you can set up easily because they've got videos. Once you join Got Backup, videos for Apple, videos for Android, videos for Apple computers, laptop computers, PCs. Guess what? They're very easy to follow. Very simple. So yeah, you can do it. And once you're in and you decide to add a picture, it updates automatically for you. You don't have to do anything. Smartphone ownership is more prevalent in advanced economies. We talked about that. Mobile search accounts for 61% of all organic search engine visits in the United States. So, in 2020, an estimated 211 million people used their mobile search across the country compared to just 177.8 million in 2016. What are they doing? What does that show? They're accumulating data, pictures, websites, bookmarks, songs, whatever, videos, music. Furthermore, in 2018, approximately 63% of paid Google search clicks originated with smartphones, with mobile phones, also accounting for 56% of total Google search clicks that year. Oh, imagine that. Now, we talked about how the average cell phone user interacts with their phone more than 2,000 times a day. And Americans spend about 2 hours and 25 minutes on their phone each day. I think that's too low. I think that's much higher. So according to a study that tracked Android users' smartphone usage, the average smartphone owner spends 145 minutes on their device every day, equivalent to approximately 76 phone sessions. Apple found that iPhone users unlock their phones 6 to 7 times an hour. An hour! Not a day, an hour. That's once every 10 minutes. What are they doing? Accumulating data. And they engage in about 80 phone sessions a day. So, approximately 3 people in 20 in the United States only use the internet on their mobile devices. We talked about that. What did that mean? They're accumulating data because they don't have a hardwire. They don't have a modem or a router in their home. They're just using the smartphone. They can afford that. They can afford $10 a month to save their data. You know what? I was talking to some people the other day. I was at the bar. And I was talking to some people about got backup, right? You know when I said data backup, you know what they said to me? What's that? They don't know. At first I thought they were just fucking around with me. They want to see if they could give me another heart attack, bastards. No, they were serious. They had no idea what data was. I said, "You got pictures on your phone?" "Oh yeah." "You got videos?" "Oh yeah." "Music?" "Oh yeah." "That's data." "Really?" "Yeah." So, and they said, "Oh, really?" I said, "What happens if you drop your?" Because a lot of these guys are boaters, and I said, "What happens if you drop your phone in the lake?" Lose the phone, lose everything." "Yeah, you do, if you can find it again." And they said, "Yeah," because they're all cruising on the chain of lakes here in northern Illinois. So they sit there and they go getting on the boat, getting off the boat, and somehow, some way, phone falls out of their pocket, and it's in the drink. They've lost everything. I said, "Well, what about if I showed you a way to do it all? You back up everything, you never lose anything." They loved it. "How do I do this?" I said, "Well, here's my card. Take my card." "Oh, all right." They said, "Do we pay you now?" I said, No. You don't have to pay me. Go to this website. You sign up for it. It's $10 a month. 6 terabytes. Not 2 terabytes, not 2 gigabytes. 6 terabytes. That's an awful lot of space. That's a true story. So there you go. Here we go. Some interesting information. As we said before, the majority of smartphone users in North America own Apple devices. 53.66% of smartphone users in the United States and North America use an Apple iPhone, while 45.99% of smartphone users in the same area use an Android device, and only 0.35% of users ran a system other than Android or Apple iOS. So in 2019, the breakdown of Apple and Android users was more or less even, with approximately 49.9% of people using an Apple mobile device and 49.68% of people using an Android cell phone. So roughly 307 million people own smartphones in the United States, which is about 92% of the country. Would you like to have a slice of that data storage pie? Would you like to earn the money for it? If you sit there and say, "Well, I don't really want to do that," you are so full of shit. You are lying. You're sitting there listening to me and you're lying to yourself, telling yourself, "I don't want a piece of that pie." You kiss my ass, you lie. Which country has the most cell phones? Macau, China, has the most cell phones in the world, with 343.11 mobile phones per capita. This area is just west of Hong Kong and is one of the technological hubs of the world. I guarantee you they are backing up their data like all the time. Ranking in the world's top 5 countries with the most cell phones is Hong Kong. 287.85 cell phones per capita. The Gaza Strip, believe it or not, 215.58 cell phones per capita. United Arab Emirates with 197.65 cell phones per capita. And get this, the Seychelles with 196.79 cell phones per capita. The United States ranks much lower in the list of countries with the most cell phones, 122.81 per capita. Would you like to have a piece of all that? You can. Uh, there's about 121 billion smartphone units were sold in 2022. And guess what? That's not dying down anytime soon. So who is the leading smartphone market? Samsung is leading the global market, the global smartphone market, while Apple has the advantage in the United States. Global numbers typically change to favor Apple in the fourth quarter of each year, while sales of Samsung phones tend to be more consistent throughout the year. Which phone is the most used in the world? The iPhone 13 is the most sold phone in the world throughout 2022. While there are no definitive numbers for the number of units sold globally, this phone was by far the most popular in the United States, accounting for 17% of the total smartphone sales. So, is the smartphone industry growing? Yeah, it's growing 9.5% annually through 2027. They're going to reach a market cap of $759.3 billion. And what are they doing with those phones? They're accumulating data. The conclusion is this, my friends. The age of modern technology, populations worldwide are becoming more and more reliant on smartphones, with the global smartphone industry generating an impressive $409.1 billion every year. It's no surprise that approximately 85% of Americans use smartphones daily. Would you like to have a piece of that data storage pie now? In the United States, 307 million smartphone users account for approximately 47% of web traffic. And 47% of those adults report that they cannot live without their smartphones. Now, in the United States, more than 1 million smartphones are stolen each year. What happens to the data? In the United Kingdom, around 183 phones are stolen each day in 2017, which amounts to 67,000 in a year. In addition, 446,000 handsets are stolen each year worldwide, which is a staggering 1,222 per day. 70 million smartphones are lost each year with only 7% recovered. What do they all have in common? They've all lost data. And unless you have got backup, they are not recovering that for their new cell phones. Do you get it now? You've been listening to me for how long? 38 minutes now. And there's the payoff for you. If a laptop computer is stolen every 53 seconds, and approximately 97% are never recovered. Worse, 1 out of every 10 laptops will be stolen within the first 12 months of purchase. Will you be next? I don't know. Will you? If you are, do you have a way to recover all your data? Now, according to some sources, a laptop is stolen every 53 seconds. And there is a 1 in 10 chance that it will get stolen in its lifetime. Most laptop thefts occur in public places or during travel, and only 2% of laptops are ever recovered. 2%. What do they all have in common? Doesn't matter who they are, they've all lost their data. Pictures, everything. Contacts, everything. Lost, gone. Gone. If you got backup data, if you got backup, if you got backup, you got your data stored, you go get your new one. You log into you download the app, forgot backup, log in. Oh, looky here. I can download all of it back into my phone or my computer. Ta-da. For $10 a month. $10 a month. Is that what your data's worth? Mine's worth at least that. I gotta tell you, I downloaded my cell phone, my Zombie Box, LG, and 2 laptops, and including this Zombie Box. Oh yeah, the external. I got 2 terabytes in here. You know what? Then I realized it's really susceptible. That, and when I was done downloading everything and uploading it to Got Backup, it was about 53, 54 gigabytes. Got Backup's giving me 6 terabytes. 6! Do you know how much room that is? It's a massive amount. So, what do you need to do? Well, you need to do this. Listen to my producer, my market director, Don Lowry.
Have you or someone you know ever had a hard drive crash? Or maybe your cell phone or tablet died, taking all of your pictures with it. You've thought about backing up your data, but all of the plans out there cost too much money for just a little bit of storage space. Well, now there's a solution. Got Backup? That's right, Got Backup will allow you to back up unlimited devices, up to 6 terabytes of data for only $9.97 a month. And that's not all. You can earn commissions by referring friends and family too. Got Backup is the only data storage center that allows you to earn income on your referrals. Check out Got Backup now. Log on to john-jeffers.com. That's john-jeffers.com. Log on now.
Yes. You know what? Look, if you don't want to, to sell Got Backup, you don't have to. You can just be my customer. It's $10 a month. Be my customer. I'll do the selling. Because I like getting people. I like helping people. I like helping people become self-sufficient. That's why we do the prepper thing. Been doing it since 2014. 9 years. 9 years I've been on the podcast. This is the best thing I've seen in a long time. And I've been burned before by multi-level marketing because I was too late getting into it. Not this time. This time I'm at the beginning. As a matter of fact, I was listening to the webinar last night. The webinar. They do great. The founders of Got Backup, the guys who created it, they come, they do a webinar. Good stuff. Always like it. Tell you what, you want to see the webinar? Okay, I tell you what, this is what you do. This is how you do it. And it's not going to cost you nothing. You log on to john-jeffers.com, right? You watch a video. It's 30 seconds. It's a 30-second video. You've been watching me for 43 minutes. 30-second video, right? You watch it. You sit there. Type in. You reserve your spot. So reserve your spot. Wednesday night. 7 o'clock. You'll have an email prior to that. It says, here's the link. Watch the webinar. Watch these guys. See what they're doing. See who they are. I like the guys. Don Lowry, who you just heard, he knows these guys personally. He's been to their houses. And I've been to Don's house. And I'm here to tell you, when Don told me this is the best thing he's ever seen, and he's been doing internet marketing since the 1990s. And he's teaching me to be an internet marketer. He can teach you too. He'll do that for free. All you got to do is just join. So you go to johndeffers.com, you watch the 30-second video, you reserve your spot. By Wednesday night, every week, take that reserve spot and make it a reality. Be a customer. Sign up. Be my customer for $10 a month. You don't have to wait till Wednesday. You can sign up to be a customer anytime you want. But Wednesday's the cutoff. So if you reserve your spot, you say, you know what? I can sell this stuff. And you don't have to really sell it. You just explain to people what it is. Remember I told you a story about being in the bar? That's true. As soon as I said, oh, you'll never lose, once you download your data, You'll never lose it. What? They've all been there. So that's what we're talking about here. Data is the new oil, folks. I just gave you the numbers for smartphone usage, computers. I'm giving you the numbers. All right. Thanks for listening. Tell your friends. Please join the Contra Profits team. That's myself and Don Lowry. That's us. You know us. You've been listening to us for years. All right. Thanks for listening. We'll see you again on the Jeffers Brief. I can't wait till you guys see this one. You guys are going to love this one. I hope you love this episode.